Hi, everyone. This is Tracy Malone from NarcissistAbuseSupport.com. Today, we're going to talk about a really important topic that parents get concerned with. They see signs of narcissism in their children. And if you're one of these parents, I'm not talking about a 6-year-old and temper tantrums. I'm talking about seeing patterns that have developed and, maybe they're teenagers or even adult children. That's when a lot of parents start to see it. And if you happen to have had a other parent that was a narcissist, they do emulate some of the behaviors and you can get really frightened, right? This has a huge emotional toll on the family. So, I want to talk to those parents who are questioning or wondering or even knowing that they are. And let's talk about this because it affects the whole family. Parenting is filled with a lot of complex emotions. We know that. The joys of watching your child grow up, and then the inevitable challenges, no matter what they are, right? And it's a painful realization when you kind of start to think, wait a second, that's very narcissistic. The impact is going to be deeply unsettling, and the emotional toll on the whole family is going to be like out off the crazy scale, right? Today, we're going to talk about these different realities faced by parents who either discover the truth and the ongoing sort of struggles that they may encounter, as well as I want to touch on the other side when families who feel their child is simply difficult, almost in denial, or even not having the resources to understand and look at this from that lens. Again, I am not talking about a 6-year-old. I am talking about people who have really kind of come into this place or are wondering if it is their child. That's what we're going to talk about right here. So, you know, parents often, when they start to think about this, have a profound self sense of failure, guilt, shame, and a lot of confusion, right? The behavior of a narcissistic child tends to be not only challenging, but emotionally draining, where it's not just you, it's your entire family that's being drained. The tactics that you might see are manipulation, entitlement, and an inability to empathize. They probably are liars and criticize or even gaslight their parents and family. These go way beyond the normal teenage rebellion and typical growing up pain. They are intentionally hurtful, extremely dismissive, and for parents who are witnessing this type of behavior, there's that heartbreak and that self-doubt. And you wonder, did I do something to cause this? Or if your ex or the other parent, it was a narcissist, is it because of that? You start to play all these recordings, you're trying to figure it out, right? You're going to feel powerless and, you're going to be faced with a lot of challenges here. So you're going to have depression and anxiety and possibly even burnout, depending on how extreme they are in this situation. But it affects the family, not just the parents, right? It affects siblings, right? So when one child dominates the attention of the family, it often turns the parents and the siblings into pawns for their power games, even if they are young. Now, this creates rifts between siblings, and the reason is because it's going to sow seeds of jealousy and competition. The narcissistic, child is going to undermine their siblings by saying, "I'm the favorite," or demanding special treatment. This leaves the non-narcissistic sibling feeling ignored, resentful, insecure. They can retreat inside, they can develop low self-esteem, or just not feel like they are loved because there's a constant battle. The narcissist is demanding the parent's attention. So again, it's going to cause that problem between it. And sometimes it's savable, and sometimes the dynamic and tension like makes them decide when they are old enough to just not talk to their other sibling. This again is a horrible byproduct, but they are doing it to protect themselves. Siblings often estrange and walk away from their abusive siblings faster than parents would. Parents have a deeper connection, and they don't often feel like they can just walk away from them. But when they are disrespecting your boundaries and demanding all this attention and making you ignore the feelings of the other people in the family, it's going to be really confusing for everyone. And yet, if you try to set limits, if you try to encourage empathy, it's probably going to be met with resistance, anger, and possibly retaliation. I've heard some stories of teenage narcissists that will burn down their house or do some crazy stuff. And so, you have to make sure if you are really suspecting this, that you get the child some help and not just walk away and go, oh, that's just them, right? You're going to feel like you're walking on eggshells, unaware of what's going to trigger them. You're just afraid if you do this, if you say this, if you speak up, if you ask them not to hit their sister, that, these simple requests are going to be taken as personal attacks. And you're going to pay the price, right? You're going to feel drained, you're going to feel unappreciated, and you're going to feel like you're put in the middle trying to defend the other siblings or the other family members from their behavior. Now, if we look at the other side of this coin, the other side is when people don't recognize narcissistic traits and they kind of just label it difficult behavior. If they are thinking that their child is difficult or maybe headstrong or it's just them, they are not necessarily understanding the behavior that could be stemming from narcissistic tendencies, right? It's easy to label a child that's a problem as opinionated or independent, but not every difficult personality is narcissistic. But if you are missing warning signs, then you may not be handling them the way that might be able to, kind of teach them that empathy, teach them boundaries, teach them things. If you're just going, it's just them, you're giving up on any hope of them actually having a chance to curb their behavior, to learn. And so excusing this kind of behavior is toxic for the whole family and damaging to the whole family by just enabling them to keep on doing what they're doing. And I'm not saying the parents are not trying to discipline them. This is one of the hallmarks, if you think about it, is you have been trying to navigate this and trying to get them to stop doing the manipulations and the lying and the things like that. You've punished them, you've sent them to their room, but they come out, swinging. And so this self-centered and manipulation stuff is going to keep on escalating, right? So if you're not aware of what you're dealing with, it's going to have your whole family be off kilter and everyone's going to be out of the line. So if you could start to learn by teaching yourself and learning about education, about narcissism, right? When we understand it and we go, oh my God, that's what that is. That was just gaslighting. It's not just a little lie. That's intentional. That is deliberately telling you a different message to maybe get the sibling in trouble or to lie about what they've done. You have to realize the difference between a normal lie and gaslighting. So by educating yourself, you're going to be able to, and again, it's not about labeling. If we label them and it's exactly what's going on, you have tools in your toolbox for figuring out what to do next, right? If you're just going, they're a difficult child, we just have to accept it, you don't have it. And again, I'm not going, let's call all the children narcissists. I'm saying research it, learn about it, make sure that if you are seeing this lack of empathy, right? Big hallmark thing. They don't care about you. They don't care about the family. They don't care about their siblings. Entitlement and manipulation and attention seeking. Now, attention seeking, of course, is not necessarily a sign that your child is clearly a narcissist, but if it's over and excessive, it's something to look at. Another way that you can kind of help them gear them towards the right way is to start to and continue to set really strong boundaries, right? It's critical. If you don't do it and enforce rules and expectations, the disrespectful behavior will continue. You have to share that it's not going to be tolerated. And again, it's not like you're going to have a good time with that. They're not going to accept it. They're going to rebel back. It's not pretty, but that's one of the hooks. That's one of the tools that you can have to start it, right? The other thing that we talk about a lot is modeling empathy and modeling respect. Show them what healthy communication looks like. Show them what empathy looks like. And here's almost like a test. If you're trying to teach them what empathy looks like, you're pointing out their bad behaviors and showing them what should have been done. Here's kind, this is compassion. If they're not truly narcissistic, but they're just that spoiled little child, then you have a chance by teaching them empathy, by modeling it, that we can pull them out and they don't go down the rabbit hole of this entitlement thing, right? And really, if you're suspecting this, get some support. Talk to a coach, talk to a therapist. If you can pull this stuff together and understand it, it's going to help the rest of your family from imploding. It's going to help you learn strategies to get past a lot of the pain, a lot of the guilt, and be able to help everybody, right? And another thing that is often overlooked, but sometimes once they're adults, this is something you have no control over, obviously, but sibling bonds. Try to spend time intentionally with them to strengthen that. And when you are having the other child, if you've got two or three, that isn't narcissistic, make sure you spend time with them, because the narcissist is going to grab all the time, all the attention, and then that's going to leave somebody feeling left out and unloved because they got all the attention. There's also a factor in this that can lead to an abandonment wound. If you have an abandonment wound, that if you have a child with special needs, all the attention goes to that child and not you. And you can actually get an abandonment wound from that, right? So the same thing can happen in this dynamic where they just feel like they weren't supported because the narcissist needed all the attention. So how do we move forward? How do we figure this out? It's not easy. And if you're in this place, get that help. Make sure that those boundaries are set and create as stable as a household as you can. Compassion and empathy are tools that you're going to have to learn and you're going to have to model for them. And hopefully we'll be able to find peace and not have them repeat these patterns if they have a narcissistic parent as well, because that's model behavior. So this is Tracy Malone. If you are looking to find out more about, is your child a narcissist? I believe I have a page on my website, narcissistabusesupport.com. It's going to give you a lot of tools, a lot of identifying things that may help you. So I hope this helped, and I'll see you again next time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Drop a like in the box too. I appreciate those. They help my channel get more traffic. So I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you.